Let us begin with a truth that will forever change how you see the American West's most iconic symbol. The wild horse is not just a feral animal roaming the plains. It is a living legend, a creature that has captured the human imagination for centuries, embodying the spirit of freedom, the romance of the frontier, and the untamed soul of the wilderness. It is a creature of extraordinary beauty, power, and resilience, capable of surviving in some of the harshest environments on the continent, from the scorching deserts of Nevada to the freezing mountains of Montana. It is also a creature of profound historical significance, descended from domesticated horses that escaped or were released by Spanish explorers and Native Americans, and that have since reverted to a wild state, adapting to the landscape and becoming a symbol of the American spirit. But here's the paradox that haunts every conservationist and wild horse advocate who studies them. Despite their iconic status and their deep cultural significance, wild horses are facing unprecedented threats from human activity. Their populations are being managed through controversial roundups and removals. Their habitats are being encroached upon by livestock raising and development, and their future is being debated in courtrooms and legislatures across the country. The wild horse has been roaming the American West for over 500 years, since the first horses were brought to the continent by Spanish explorers. It has witnessed the rise of the American nation, the expansion of the frontier, and the modernization of the West. And now, it is looking at us with those large, expressive eyes. And it is asking a question that we are too afraid to hear. What have you done with our freedom? Today, we are telling the biography of the wild horse. Not one herd, but all wild horses. The diverse, iconic, and controversial symbols of the American West. The wild horse, Equus ferus caballus, is a member of the Equidae family, which includes horses, donkeys, and zebras. The horse lineage is one of the oldest and most successful mammal lineages on Earth, with fossils dating back over 50 million years. The horses that now roam the American West are descended from domesticated horses brought to the continent by Spanish explorers in the 16th century. These horses escaped or were released by their owners, and they established feral populations that spread across the plains and mountains of the West. Over time, they adapted to the wild, developing traits that allowed them to survive in the harsh, open landscapes of the region. The wild horse is found primarily in the western United States, in states like Nevada, Wyoming, Utah, and Montana. They inhabit a wide range of habitats, from the high desert of the Great Basin to the grasslands of the Great Plains, from the mountain ranges of the Rockies to the sagebrush steppes of the Intermountain West. The Bureau of Land Management estimates that there are approximately 70,000 wild horses and burros on public lands in the United States. Despite their wide distribution, wild horse populations are under immense threat. Their numbers are managed through roundups and removals. Their habitats are being encroached upon by livestock raising and development, and their future is being debated in courtrooms and legislatures across the country. The wild horse is a creature of extremes, but it is also a creature of vulnerability. What defines a wild horse? Let us start with the body, because the wild horse's body is a monument to resilience and adaptation. Wild horses have a distinctive body shape, with a large, robust body, a long, elegant neck, and a pair of large, expressive eyes. Their bodies are covered in a thick coat which varies in color from bay to chestnut to black to paint. The coat is adapted to protect them from the elements, providing warmth in the winter and reflecting heat in the summer. Their legs are long and powerful, adapted for running at high speeds across the open plains. Their hooves are hard and tough, adapted for traversing rocky terrain and covering long distances. Their teeth are adapted for grazing on tough, fibrous grasses, and their digestive system is highly efficient at extracting nutrients from their food. Their average lifespan is 20 to 30 years, depending on the species. The wild horse is a creature of remarkable adaptation, but it is also a creature of fragility. Now let us talk about the wild horse's daily life and social structure, because the wild horse is not a solitary creature. It is a highly social animal, living in herds with a complex social hierarchy. The herd is typically led by a dominant male or stallion, which defends the group in its territory. The females, or mares, and their young form the core of the herd, and they are highly protective of their offspring. Wild horses are known to communicate through a variety of vocalizations, including whinnies, snorts, and nickers. They also use body language, including ear position, tail position, and posture, to convey their mood and intentions. They are primarily crepuscular, active during the twilight hours, spending their time grazing on the grasslands. They are known to be curious and intelligent, and they have been observed showing signs of affection and empathy toward their herd mates. The wild horse's life is a slow, deliberate process, but it is also a process of survival against the odds. The wild horse's diet is as varied as its species. It is primarily a herbivore, feeding on a wide variety of grasses, herbs, and other vegetation. They are known to be selective feeders, preferring certain types of plants over others. They are also known to eat a variety of other plant matter, including leaves, bark, and shrubs. They are non-ruminants, with a simple digestive system that is adapted for processing large quantities of plant matter. Their feeding habits shape the ecosystem. By consuming vast quantities of vegetation, they help to control plant populations, preventing overgrowth and maintaining the balance of the ecosystem. They are also important nutrient recyclers, as their manure fertilizes the soil and helps to support the growth of new plants. Reproduction is another critical aspect of the wild horse's life story, and it is a slow, deliberate process that reflects the species' vulnerability. Wild horses have a relatively slow reproductive rate, with females typically giving birth to a single foal every 1 to 2 years. The gestation period is approximately 11 months, and the foal is born weighing about 30 kilograms. The foal is able to stand and walk within a few hours of birth. The mother provides extensive parental care, nursing the foal for several months and teaching it the skills it needs to survive. The wild horse's reproductive strategy is one of quality over quantity, with a high investment in each offspring to ensure its survival. Now let us talk about the wild horse's daily struggle, because life for a wild horse is a constant battle against hunger, disease, and the encroachment of humans. Wild horses face a variety of natural threats, including predators like mountain lions, wolves, and bears, which prey on them. They also face threats from disease and parasites, which can weaken them and make them vulnerable to predation. However, the most significant threat to wild horse survival is human activity. Wild horses are managed through roundups and removals. Their habitats are being encroached upon by livestock grazing and development, and their populations are being debated in courtrooms and legislatures across the country. The wild horse's struggle is not just a biological one. It is a fight against the consequences of human activity, a fight that will determine its fate. How is the wild horse useful to humans? Let us count the ways that are rarely acknowledged. First, cultural significance. Wild horses have been woven into the mythology and art of the American West for centuries, representing freedom, adventure, and the spirit of the frontier. Second, ecotourism. Wild horse viewing is a popular activity in many parts of the West, generating revenue for local communities. Third, scientific research. Wild horses are a model species for studying feral populations, genetics, and adaptation. Fourth, historical significance. Wild horses are a living link to the history of the American West, a reminder of the region's rich cultural heritage. Now, what can humans learn from the wild horse? First, the power of freedom. Wild horses roam free across the plains, teaching us the value of freedom and the importance of living authentically. Second, the importance of community. Wild horses live in herds, protecting and caring for each other. Humans can learn to value their communities. Third, that the natural world is sacred. Wild horses live in harmony with their environment. We cannot survive without the natural world. Now, let us talk about conservation, because the story of the wild horse is not over. It is being written now, by each of us. The wild horse is not currently endangered, but its populations are under immense pressure from roundups, habitat loss, and development. The primary threats to wild horse populations are management actions, habitat loss, and human-wildlife conflict. There are solutions. Protecting critical habitats, including grazing lands and migration corridors, is essential. Implementing humane population management strategies, including birth control and adoption programs, can also help. Education is key. People need to understand that wild horses are not just a resource. They are essential partners in the health of the planet and the preservation of the American West's cultural heritage. The future of the wild horse depends on our choices today. And now, we come to the final truth. The wild horse has been roaming the American West for over 500 years. It has witnessed the rise of the American nation, the expansion of the frontier, and the modernization of the West. It has been captured, rounded up, and pushed to the brink. And yet, it is still here, grazing on the grasslands, running across the plains, and raising its young. It is looking at us with those large, expressive eyes, and it is asking a question that we are too afraid to hear. What have you done with our freedom? We have the power to forget the wild horse, to let its populations be managed out of existence, and to abandon its place in our culture. We also have the power to protect it. The choice is ours. Every time we look at a wild horse, we see a creature that is not so different from us, a creature that has adapted to one of the harshest environments on Earth, a creature that has traveled alongside us through history, a creature that teaches us what it means to be human. Because in the end, the wild horse is not just an animal. It is a mirror. It reflects our capacity for freedom, for community, for grief, and for hope. It shows us who we are and who we could become. So let us protect the wild horse, not because it is useful, but because it is sacred. Not because it is endangered, but because it is irreplaceable. Let us give the wild horse a future, not just for its sake, but for ours. Because a world without wild horses is a world without wonder, a world without wisdom, a world without freedom. And that is a world we do not want to live in.